થોડા વ્યસ્ત છું લઈ જાઉં મેથ્સ લઈ જાઉં હા ભેગા થોડા 4-5 એટલા ઊંચું કરી નાખજો બેસો
Sorry, I'm downstairs, sorry.
Can you see the keyboard? You know where the keyboard is? It should be one of the drawers. The keyboard for this, yeah. Perfect, thank you. Hare Krishna. So we're going to have a session today on the nectar of instructions. Before we start the class, we'll do a short invocation kirtan. So please join me. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari 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 Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Jana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Everybody sing please. Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe Jaya Radha Gokula Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman 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 Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Gokula Nand ki Jai, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for staying for the class. Today we're going to do a session on the nectar of devotion. So this is a small book by Srila Rupa Goswami, who is one of the ancient acharyas within our movement. A very learned scholar. He's authored many, many books, and this is one of the most popular ones. Could I request you move a little bit this way so that I can have some eye contact with you, if you don't mind? Otherwise, I'm twisting my neck all the time. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So, Nectar of Devotion, that's the English translation of the book. Anybody know what the Sanskrit name of this book is? Okay, instructions in Sanskrit, Upadesh. Nectar means Amrit. So it is Upadesh Amrit. That is the name of this book. And I was trying to get the verse on the board, but somehow it's not working today. It's stuck. But anyway, what I will do is I'll recite the verse myself, and then we'll see how we go from there. This is the first verse of the Nectar of Instructions. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nectar of Instructions, text 1. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jivha vegam udarapastha vegam etan vegan yavishabheta dhira sarvam apivam prithvim shasishyat. So this verse explains a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So you can see from this verse, it's talking about control. Vegam, urge, controlling the urges of various senses that we have. So this book begins with that. There's a very, very long purport that Srila Prabhupada gives. This is the explanation of this verse. This afternoon, was anybody here for the afternoon class today? Nobody. Okay. So this afternoon, one of the devotees, he did the first few paragraphs of the verses of the purport. I will try and cover the next few paragraphs, and we'll see how far we get. Let's see where I am. So, just repeating the translation once again: a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world, which means that person is a sadhu. One who can control these urges is a sadhu. Generally speaking, in the material world, our natural sort of way we work is just we follow the senses. We wake up in the morning and the sense says, okay, today I want to just have a lie-in. So, okay, fine, we'll just hit the snooze button and again go to sleep. That's our sense of ignorance saying that, no, stay in bed, stay in bed. But the mode of goodness is saying to us, please get out of bed because you have to do work. So this is, it starts. We start also with the senses. When our senses, the doctors may have said that, you are borderline on diabetes, so please keep away from sugar. But every time you go to the fridge, your hand will go to that bar of chocolate. Yeah, as the senses. So these are the control. But in this particular verse, talking about the urge to speak. So what do you mean? What do you mean by urge to speak? We all have to speak, whether we are going to school or whether going to university or whether we go to work. We have to speak. But here it says, control the urge to speak. So the real meaning of this verse is to control the urge to speak prajalpa. Prajalpa means speaking unnecessary chit-chat. You have people who spend an hour or two talking about somebody, what did they want, what she did, what so-and-so's daughter did, this. And then at the end of the 1 hour, they'll say, but they wasted that 1 hour. So this is the kind of wastage, this is the kind of urge of speaking that we should control. So we should try and use our speaking power to speak about Krishna. Whenever we have a chance, we get together with friends or something, instead of talking about other people, talking about parties, talking about cinema, whatever people talk about nowadays, we can talk about some katha. We can talk about what we read today, what we heard today in some class, or a verse that we know. So that is how we can utilize our power of speaking in the right way. We control the urge to speak nonsense. So that's the controlling the urge to speak. When we control all these senses, it leads to a more peaceful mind, which is conducive to spirituality. And we all need to make spiritual progress in order to utilize this very, very rare human birth. It is only in the human birth that we get opportunity to do what we're doing right now. You can't get a cat or dog to come and sit here and listen to a class. They don't have that intelligence. They don't have the consciousness that's developed. But in the human form of body, we have an intelligence, we have the consciousness which is developed, where we can sit and we can hear Krishna Katha, we can hear about what sadhus speak about how a human life should be spent. As we know, how many different species of life are there? Anybody knows? People will say 84 lakh, right? 8,400,000. Thank you, Prabhu. So we have 8,400,000 different species of life, right? Starting from aquatics to insects to birds to animals. By going through all those cycles for millions of years, we then come to the human birth, which is a gift by God to give us this body, which is the most developed species. So when we have this body, if we waste it also by doing all the prajalpa and by acting just like animals, what do animals do? Animals, humans, and in all the 8.4 million species, 4 things are common. Ahara, bhaya, nidra, maithun. Ahara means food, eating. So everybody will, an ant will eat. You will. Do you eat? Do you eat? Do you like to eat? No? I'm talking to you. You. Do you like to eat? Yes. Everybody eats, right? Ahara, nidra. Do you like to go to sleep at night? We sleep. Animals sleep, insects will sleep, or every living entity will sleep. Ahara, nidra, bhaya. Bhaya means, in real sense, bhaya means fear, but actually it means defending. So we all are defending ourselves, if somebody comes to attack us, we put a hand up like this. We make sure that our doors are locked at night. We make sure that the alarm is on when we go out, because of fear of being burgled, fear of being hit, but also fears are there, right? We take injections for fear of disease, whatever. So fear is there. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, and maithun. Maithun means procreating. So we'll have children. The animals will have their kiddies. So insects will have their babies, whatever. So these 4 things are common. Animals do that, humans do that. If we don't cultivate spirituality, then we are acting just like animals. It is said that it is a dvipada pashu. Pashu, animals have 4 legs. But human beings who do not do anything more than what the animals do, which means if the human beings don't spend that time in spirituality, then it's dvipada pasu, two-legged animal. That's all we are. So we must time, like all of you are doing, we must take time to come to the temple. Of course, we all have our material duties. We have families to look after, we have jobs to take care of. We don't say stop everything, of course. You need to do that. But there's got to be two tracks. Like a train runs on two tracks. So one is our swadharma. Our swadharma is to look after our bodily affairs in terms of the body and anything connected to the body, the family, jobs, or whatever. But the Sanatana Dharma is there side by side, which is to do with the soul. Everything else is to do with the body and the body's relations. The Sanatana Dharma, which is the Dharma of the soul, is what we are doing now. What we are doing now, what you're going to do in about half an hour, 1 hour, when you go for prasadam, you're feeding yourself. That's feeding the body to keep the body healthy. That's just fine. But what this is doing, by hearing through the ears, we're actually consuming food for the soul. And the soul gets nourished by Krishna Katha. So we must run the two side by side. Most people get lost in the Swadharma and forget about the Sanatana Dharma. But we must do that side by side. In some ways, I'm preaching to the converted. You're all here because you believe in that. Otherwise, you would not be here on a Sunday afternoon. But yeah, so that's the point. Now, what we need to do is to, find time every day to do this. So coming on to this verse about controlling the different senses, Srila Prabhupada in the purport reads, I just have taken down a part of the purport, it says, as for the agitations or the flickering mind, they are divided into two divisions. The first is called avirodha priti, or unrestricted attachment, and the other is called virodha yukta krodha, anger arising from frustration. So, avirodha priti, that's what we're talking about. It means we are getting attracted. Priti means attraction. We're getting attracted uncontrolled, avirodha, which means we don't do anything to control that urge. We get the urge to eat chocolate, we go and eat chocolate. We go on an urge to go and do whatever we want to do, which is not really conducive to our spiritual life, we go and do it. Because that urge is not controlled. The avirodha priti. So unrestricted attachment. And the other is virodha yukta krodha. Because then, whatever we are desiring in life, when it is not fulfilled, automatically krodha comes. Anger comes from frustration. And frustration is because we're not getting our way, one way or the other. Anger comes like this. A child will get angry because she's not getting what she wants from mom. Many times you witness this in the supermarkets, right? The child is rolling on the floor, screaming because she wants to buy the bar of chocolate, and mom is saying no. In the end, mom has to give in. So similarly, our senses are like this. They're always dragging us away from where we need to be. But then ultimately, it comes to krodha, and then krodha is like a slippery slope. In the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 2, Krishna explains this slippery slope, how it works. He explains like this, in 262 and 263. He says, Dhyato vishayan pumshan sangaste supajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamad krodha bijayate. And then he says, krodha davati sammohat smriti vibrama, smriti bramsad buddhi nashat vinashyati. So he says, starting from there, that while contemplating on the object of senses, so we contemplate on what my mind is wanting to do. By contemplating on the object of senses, a person develops attachment for those senses, for those objects. And from those attachment, lust develops. Because we get lust here used in a broader sense. Lust, sometimes you use just as attraction between male and female, but lust here is just general desire. So I am desiring to have that bar of chocolate. So that gets stronger and stronger. So from just a slight desire, it becomes into attachment, then into a lusty thing that I must have it. So then from that lust, when it's not satisfied, when the child is not given that bar of chocolate that he or she wants, krodha comes. And then, krodha bhavati sammoha. So from krodha, if one So it's one krodha, yeah. From anger, complete delusion arises. So we all have the experience. When we get angry, we say things that we would have never said before, if we were in a normal state. And many times, quite often, we regret things we say in anger. So some moha, we go into bewilderment, and we say crazy things. So the mind is bewildered. When the mind is bewildered, memory is lost. Memory about how we should be behaving, all that is lost. When the memory is lost, intelligence is gone. So see how the slope is. When the intelligence is gone, we fall back into ignorance. So this is how one must control. So everything starts from Vishayan, trying to contemplate on the senses. So if you can control that urge, that's why I was saying, all these urges, if we start controlling that way we will save ourselves from this degradation into anger, lust, and all the way down to then losing ourselves completely, becoming mad. Right? So in Bhaktivedanta Manor, it's also explained that for us to develop our spirituality, we need to also control our senses. And controlling the senses begins from the tongue. The tongue is the most voracious. Here in Bhagavad Gita, there is, Prabhupada uses in the purport a verse that we all recite this verse before we take prasad. Anybody know what we recite before prasad here? Sharira Vidya Jal, anybody know that? Okay, so lots of you are new. So here in the temple you will see, even when they're serving in the Haveli, before they start serving, they'll recite this verse. Sharira avidya jal jadendriya tahe kal jive fele vishaya sagare tar madhye jivayati lobha moy sudurmati take jeta katina sansare Krishna baradaya moy kari bare jiva joy swapasada andilobai sayanamrita pa radha Krishna gunagav premedako chaitanya nitai jainimai jainitai jainimai jainitai. Beautiful verse which is saying, it's quite deep actually. I'll try and read the translation. It says, "O my Lord, this material body is a lump of ignorance, and the senses are a network of paths leading to death. Somehow or the other, we have fallen into the material ocean of sense enjoyment, and of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious and uncontrollable." See, all our senses do one thing usually. Eyes can see, the skin can touch, noses can smell, ears can hear, like that. But the tongue can do two things. Tongue can taste, and the tongue can vibrate to make sound. So it's most voracious and the most difficult to conquer. It says, very difficult to conquer the tongue in this world. But you, dear Krishna, you are very kind to us. You have given us your nice prasad to help us conquer the tongue. Therefore, let us take this prasad to our full satisfaction and glorify your lordships, Shri Radha and Krishna, and in love call out for the help for Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. So we pray to the Lord, we're thanking Him for giving us His prasad. So when we offer the prasad to the Lord, then the tongue gets controlled. It is explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sidhu, again another book by Rupa Goswami, Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriye sevan mukhe jivvadav swayam eva sfurat yada. He says it's very difficult to understand spirituality. It's very difficult to understand the Lord Himself with our dull, conditioned senses. Our senses are conditioned by material nature and they are dull. Very difficult to understand them. But when the senses are purified, beginning from the tongue, to chant His names and taste His prasadam, then we beginning to understand who Krishna really is. And then we understand spiritual matters. So we can sometimes sit in a class and think, wow, I'm not really understanding anything here. But then that shows our senses are still dull. But if we purify our senses, then we're able to come to a stage where we start to understand. This is why it's very, very important to control the senses. The concept of prasad, very important concept. Here, anybody who's following Krishna consciousness, we will not eat anything that is not offered to the Lord. Everything that's prepared at home is first of all put in a special plates reserved for the Lord in small katoris and a thali. And whatever is cooked, it will be placed in those utensils which are reserved. We don't use them for anything else, just only for the Lord. We then put tulsi pan, because Krishna loves tulsi. So we offer the tulsi pan. He accepts the prasadam readily if you offer with tulsi pan. We then put it in front of the Lord with a little bell. We say some prayers. The detailed prayers to be recited. But if you don't know the prayers, just 3 times recite the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. 3 times. And this way that bhoga is offered to the Lord. Then we leave it, go away for a few minutes, let the Lord enjoy the prasadam, and then we come back and take it, and then we have it ourselves. Many different sort of paths. Some Hindus I know, what they will do is they will just offer maybe some misri or like sweets and maybe some milk or something, and that's also good. But what they don't do is whatever they make for themselves for lunch and dinner, that is not offered. But in ISKCON we are taught actually that everything that you make, you should offer. It's not just you keep some sukomevo and some nuts to the Lord and you enjoy gulab jamun and halwa and everything, whatever you prepare, you give it to the Lord and then you take it. And what is offered, what is offerable? We may be eating many different things, but the Lord says, this is what I like. Explains in 926. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya parachati tadaham bhakti pahrati asnami parat atmana. He says, if one offers to me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, some fruit or water, I'll accept it. So all these things, so a leaf, fruit, water or flower. So it's not just we just offer those little things, but Krishna says even that is fine. So even somebody is really poor, somebody is in a situation where he can't really get anything, he can at least get some water from somewhere, he can get a leaf, he can get a little flower, go to somebody's garden and say, please give me a rose and I want to offer to my Lord, he'll give it to you happily, like that, right? So we can offer something simple like that. Actually, you should generally make the offering really opulent, make it really nice for Krishna. But if you can't, then even these basic things Krishna is happy with. Because why it says here, bhaktya, important word is bhaktya. It says with love and devotion. That's the most important part of the offering. It's not the halwa, it's not the gulab jamun, it's not the pakoras and patata vadas or whatever we have. But it's the love that we offer it with. That is the important thing. Look, Krishna, he was in Dwarka. In Dwarka, he was in the palaces. He had 108 queens. And the queens were offering him chapan bhog every day. Right? But then when he was in Vrindavan, he was with the gopis. These were cowherd girls. They didn't have anything opulent. They were just very basic, living in their huts. And they were giving Krishna fruit and flowers. Which do we think Krishna enjoyed more? Gopis. Why? With love. That's the thing. Because with love. So when we offer anything we offer to the Lord, our bhav is very important. Krishna is bhava grahi janardana. He is not looking for anything. We can come here and give him 1,000 pounds. But if our motive is different, I'm giving him 1,000 pounds because I want something in return. Krishna, I'm giving you 1,000 pounds, but I want you to arrange that my daughter gets married. Right? Now that 1,000 pounds is not valuable. But if you just come here and give Krishna a simple flower, give him a rose from your garden, and say, Krishna, please, I plucked this rose from the garden. It's so nice. Please accept it. Right? Krishna, he will accept it. What do you think he will prefer more, 1,000 pounds or your flower? Flower. Because Krishna is not in want of anything, right? Krishna is full of everything. Everything that we have, Krishna has given anyway. Right? Krishna says, it's Atmaram. Atmaram means self-satisfied. Krishna doesn't need anything from outside. All of us, we need something from the outside. We need help. We need even love. We want love because we want people to love us. We want love from our parents. We love from our siblings. We want love from our spouses. We are in need of those things, right? Krishna doesn't need anything. Krishna is completely Atmaram. But he reciprocates with us to give mercy on us. So he's doing us a favor. It's not that we're doing a favor to Krishna by giving him something. He's doing us a favor by accepting it, right? Whatever we have given to Krishna is already given by Krishna anyway, isn't it? If you take a flower and offer it to Krishna, where did that flower come from? From a rose bush. How did the rose bush grow there? Because maybe you planted it in your garden, right? Yes, but you planted it. Yes, you did the duty of planting the rose bush. But how did that rose bush grow? Yeah, you can say, yeah, because I watered it. But is that sufficient? No, there's something in that earth that Krishna has created that gave the ability to that little stump that you put in there to grow into a nice plant and lovely flowers with fragrance. You know, where does the fragrance come from? Did you put it in there? Where did you get the fragrance? No, you didn't go to Boots to buy a bottle of perfume and put it on the flowers. No, it came from the earth, right? You can't find that earth. You dig up the earth, it's not there, but it's there. Krishna has made that arrangement for that nutrition from the earth to go into the plant to become this beautiful flower. So that flowers come from Krishna. What else? We can say, okay, the scientists are very, very proud of all the modern gadgets. They've got, phones. I've got a very basic phone. People got iPhone 15 or whatever. So scientists will say, we made it. Where did they make it? Where did they get the ingredients from? Nothing. How can they? Everything that comes, everything that's made, metal, plastic, the components, everything has to come from nature. Something's like we can only transform things. We can't create anything. We can only transform from whatever Krishna has given us, from matter, into something that is usable. We can do the transformation thing. We cannot create anything. So whatever we are given to Krishna is given to us by Krishna anyway. What can we do? We are so powerless. Even the most powerful scientist, what can he do? He can make fabulous cars. He can make airplanes. He can make, even rockets go into space, right? But forget all that. Krishna says, a scientist, can you make a small mosquito? Forget about your rockets and everything. Can you make a small mosquito which can just fly on its own and go and find its own food? It's so tiny. Forget about it making a human being, right? Make a mosquito. No way, right? Other way to look at it is can a scientist make an apple tree? Look at the arrangement Krishna has made. Krishna has made this apple fruit, right? In that fruit, there are seeds. In that, each of the seeds has the potency to go in the ground and create another tree. And in that another tree, there will be hundreds of apples. In each one of the apples, there will be seeds. In each one of those seeds, potency to grow other trees. Can a scientist make an apple like that, with a seed that can then reproduce? Right. So we are so powerless. So we must always be thankful that everything we're getting is coming from Krishna. Krishna doesn't need anything. Krishna in the spiritual world is described in the Brahma Samhita, text 538. It says, Chintamani prakara sadmashu kalpa vriksha laksha vriteshu surabhira vipalayantam lakshmi sahasra satasam brahma sevyamanam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. It says, Krishna says, Chintamani prakara. Chintamani means, I think we know that. Chintamani is like a stone, touchstone, which you rub with any other metal, it turns into gold. Chintamani, so Krishna's abode, the roads, the houses, everything is made of Chintamani. Chintamani. Kalpa vriksha, you're surrounded by kalpa vriksha. Kalpa vriksha, a special kind of tree which fulfills your desire. So Krishna doesn't need to come for any desires to us. Those trees can fulfill the desires. Then he's got kalpa vriksha, surabhir. Surabhir means Denu cows, the cows who can give you abundance of milk supply and supply you anything else you want, right? And Lakshmi Sahasra Satapshat Sambra Sevimanam, hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis are serving him. So we are all praying to Lakshmi to give us something, but those Lakshmis are serving Krishna. So why does he need anything from us? Again, so making the same point, that Krishna doesn't need anything from us, he's accepting it. It's a sentiment that's important. It's not the procedure or even the mantras. It's a sentiment in our heart that's important when we're offering everything to Krishna. So the key element is the attitude, and the examples of bhava is here. When Krishna, one time Krishna goes to Mathura. No, he goes to Mathura. Well, yes, Mathura. He wants to give some message as a messenger. He wants to try and avoid this war of Kurukshetra. So Krishna goes as a messenger. So when he goes, he gets a message on the way that Duryodhana has invited you for lunch. So Duryodhana was very crafty. Duryodhana was trying to invite Krishna to his home so he can then butter him up. And Krishna, so if I butter Krishna up and get him on my side, then the Pandavas will not be so eager to fight. That was the motive. So motive was matlabi, something personal they wanted. Krishna refused that, because in the palace of Duryodhana, he had all the opulences. You can prepare a chappan bhog for Krishna. But Krishna was not interested in that bhoga, because that was filled with personal motive. Where did he go? Anybody know where he went for lunch? Vidura's house. Instead, he went to Vidura's house. Vidura's house was very simple. Vidurani was making very simple fruits and things, nothing opulent there. And Vidurani got so sentimental because, oh my God, my chance to actually serve Krishna directly. Krishna is here in my house, and this is my opportunity to feed Krishna. So she takes the banana, and in her sort of excitement, she peels the banana, throws the banana, gives Krishna the peel. And Krishna ate the peel. Krishna took the peel and ate it and accepted it fully. So this is the bhava. It's not the banana, the sweet banana, or the bitter peel. The peel. It is the bhava by which Vidurani was ready to offer Krishna. So he accepted the banana peel rather than have the chappan bhog with Duryodhana. Bhava. Bhava. Other example, anybody think of other examples of similar things where Rama or Krishna accepted something like this? The very famous pastime of Shabri, right? So when Shabri, after waiting for the whole lifetime for Krishna to arrive, Krishna comes. Again, she's so excited. She wants to make sure that she gives the best to Krishna. Now, how many offer food to Krishna at home? So when we offer, do we taste it before we offer to Krishna? No, we can't taste it. We could become juta, right? What Shabri was doing to make sure that each bowl is sweet, take it, oh, khatta hai, oh, mitha hai, ye le lo, right? So but Krishna, did he mind? He loved it because the bhava was there in Shabri's heart. So he accepted it. Lakshman was getting agitated. But Ram said, no, don't worry, Lakshman. It's the bhava that is there, right? There's one incident when Krishna goes to Mithila. When Krishna goes to Mithila, there are two pure devotees who were very, very, very devoted to Krishna. And one was Bahulasva. Bahulasva was the king of that region, of Mithila at that time. And the other one was a poor Brahman devotee whose name was Shrutadev. So when Krishna arrived, he got a message that both of them want you to come for lunch at their house. So Krishna, with his potency, he divided himself into two. Krishna can do, he has the potency. When there was the Rasa dance, how many forms did Krishna create of himself? 16,000. He was dancing with 16,000 gopis. So Krishna can easily do two, right? So, even that kind of siddhi, even today it exists. In India, there are yogis who do tapa for so many years sitting in the Himalayas, and they get these kind of siddhis, they can actually multiply themselves. But it is said in the Shastra, the maximum they can do is 2 or 3. But Krishna can do unlimited. So anyway, in that case, in Mithila, he divided into 2, and he went to both places simultaneously. In the King Bahulaswa's palace, he was offered a huge variety of food in golden vessels and plates and diamond-studded goblets, and he enjoyed all that. But in Shrudadeva's home was a jupudi, small jupudi. Didn't even have a proper asan. He had a little cloth that he gave to Krishna to sit on, and he gave Krishna some fruits and some berries. Krishna enjoyed both equally, because both of them were giving it with love. In this case, king was also very devotional. So Krishna enjoyed both of them. Again, bhava. So it's to satisfy Krishna with our love, not just with what we offer him. Krishna accepts our offering even in the deity form. When people come here, we see the deities. Devotees, we understand that these deities, there's no difference between these deities standing here and the Lord in his own abode. It's the same. The Lord resides in his deities. So we have that bhava. So when we offer with that bhava, the Lord accepts it. The Lord will accept it. The Lord, there's an example given in Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri, there's a devotee called Dasya Bauri. Dasya Bauri was born in a low-class family. So in Jagannath Puri, even today, they're very strict about who they will allow to come in. Today, if we go from here, we have to be careful, Jagannath Puri, that we don't open our mouths, because if they hear foreign accent, people speaking in English, they'll stop you. They would not let you go. Many times you go with devotees, the Western devotees, they have to stay outside. They're not allowed. Because Jagannath Puri is very, very strict. They only want pure Hindus to come and go inside. They don't want outsiders. So this way, this devotee, Dasya Bauri, was not allowed to enter. So what he used to do, he went once with a coconut, and he gave it to one of the brahmanas there. And he says, "Can you please offer this to the Lord Jagannath on my behalf? And if he doesn't accept it, bring it back." So this brahmana was thinking, what foolish thought, how can, you offer it and leave it, how do you know he's taken it or not? So he goes there and he offers to the Lord like that, and then he says, okay, I'll just repeat what the brahmana said. So it says, this brahmana standing outside, this Dasya Bauri, is saying that, please take it, if not, I have to take it back to him. Krishna, Jagannath, extended his arm, took the coconut from his hand. It actually happened. He took it because the bhava was there, right? And this brahmana was astounded. For all his life he's been serving. He's never seen this happen before. He went back and realized he's such a good devotee. Next time, this brahmana, Dasya Bauri, he comes with a basket of mangoes. And because he's not allowed to go in, he puts the basket down. So brahmanas are rushing because they now know that he's such a pure devotee, the Lord accepts from him. So they, I want to take it, I want to take it. They're all fighting about who will take the mangoes inside so they can have the experience of Krishna taking it. Right? They're fighting about it. And by this time, this Dasya Bauri said, no, I don't want anybody to take it. I'll offer it myself. But you can't go in. But don't worry, I'll do it. So he holds it. So anybody been to Jagannath Puri? Nobody? Okay. So when you go to Jagannath Puri, you have, So on the main sort of shikhar, there is a chakra, huge chakra. So he just took it and offered it the chakra. Because there is, no difference between the deity and the Lord, and no difference between the paraphernalia. So the chakra and the temple itself, everything, nothing different. You offered it the chakra like that, and within seconds, that mango he was holding disappeared. All the brahmanas were looking. So like this, he emptied the whole basket. He held it like this, and he went. He held it like this, and he went. So Krishna accepts it like this. Of course, very rarely like this happens, but he does accept it like this, right? So we have to read all these things and understand that Krishna has the power to accept. He can, if he wants to, he can show this. We had actually an incident here. some 4 or 5 years ago. A devotee who was telling us that when the bhoga was prepared, in the morning, they prepared cookies and some sweets and things for Krishna, and they offer it here. So the Mataji, Palika Mataji, she prepared everything, and she brought it here, and then she told the pujari, I hope that Krishna accepts my offering. I hope I have not made any mistakes. I really, please request Krishna when you're offering to please excuse my mistakes and accept it. So the pujari just did that, right? The plates are covered, and they put them there. After 10 minutes, he went back and took the plates away. There are four offerings here. From the offerings of the main offering of Radha Gokulananda, one cookie had a bite taken off from it. So there was a bite missing, right? So the pujari was stunned, right? He just ran outside. He said, look, the bite is missing from here. Krishna took and became a very, very famous. Everybody took that piece of, so they'll be greedy to take a piece, to take a prasad for themselves. It happens very rarely, but it has happened. So Krishna once in a while will show his potency to us, just to increase our faith. That it's not just marble murti they're looking at. You know, if you look at Krishna just as a marble murti, that's how he will reciprocate with us. But if you look at Krishna with a bow, that is Lord himself standing on the altar, that's how he will look at us. Sometimes people challenge us that, look, you put the plates there, then you say, oh, Krishna has taken it. Everything is still there. When you bring it out, everything is still there. Except for this one incident when it was missing, right? Mostly it's there. How can Krishna have it? So in the mornings here we sing a particular prayer which says Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti. It says Krishna is see, we can eat with our mouth, we can see with our eyes, we can hear with our ears, smell with our nose. But Krishna, the Lord, he can do all the things with all his indriyas. That also he can eat with the mouth, but he can also eat with his eyes. He can eat with his fingers and he can eat with his arms and legs. Everything is potent. So he can eat with eyes. So when we put it there, Krishna is looking at it and he's consuming it. Right? So Krishna is eating. So again, somebody will still challenge that, it's just sentiment. Right? So we'll do an experiment here. Let's try and see. We can experiment here. Here's a bookmark here. I want, let's see, okay, who's there? Okay, can you come here? Yeah, just come here. No, you, the girl, yeah. So I want you to just, in your mind, don't read it out loud, just read that first part. Okay, and memorize it. Can you memorize it? Simple, right? Now go back there. Okay, what's written here? It says, chant and be happy, right? Now, if I was arguing about that prasada, I would say that prasada is still there. How can Krishna have taken it? So same thing I can say to you, the words are still here. How come they're in your mind? They can't be in your mind because they're still here. But they are in your mind, right? So subtly, this information you have stored in your memory. This information, you took it from here and you stored it in your memory. So similarly, the Lord, with his eyes, can take the prasad and store it in the memory and still leave it there. You didn't take the words from here, they're still here. But they went into your memory. So if we can do that with something like this, Krishna, the Lord, can actually consume through his eyes and still leave everything else for us to have mercy. Actually, the word prasada, Sanskrit word, it means mercy. So, the other thing, there's one more story I wanted to say about how Krishna. So one Brahmana, he was every day in his life he used to offer whatever they cook, offer to the Lord, and then take it afterwards. One time he had to go away for 3 days, so he told his son that you make sure that whatever is cooked you offer, and don't consume anything until it's offered. So he says, fine. So the son, when the father went, he took whatever food was there, he put it there, and he said, my father's asked you to eat, so please eat. And he sat there. And he says, please eat. Okay, I'm going out to play. I'll come back. I want you to make sure you finished it. Right? He went out Half an hour later, he came back. Of course, the prasad was still there. And he started to cry. He said, if you don't eat, my father's going to tell me off. He's asked me to offer you prasad. How come you're not eating? The Lord started to eat. He finished the plate. Right? So then, this happened for 3 days. The father came back. And he says, but where is all the prasad? We offered everything. Where is the prasadam? Did you leave anything for me? He said, no, Krishna ate it. The father, the Brahmana, has been offering for all his lifetime. Right? So he says, come on. You must have finished it all, or you must have fed it to the monkeys. What have you done to the food? He said, no, I'm telling you, Dad. Krishna ate it. He said, I don't believe it. Then next time, he stood behind the curtain. He said, okay, you offer now. I want to see. He stood behind the curtain and started to offer. The Lord started to eat. And as soon as he came out, he stopped. So the Lord was taking the offering from the child because he was offering with the love, with the bhav. Whereas the Brahmana, his father himself, he didn't have the faith that the Lord would even eat. Although he was doing it all his lifetime, but he was doing it as a ritual. Right? So the Lord realized that here the child was offering with such amazing feeling. I have to accept it. Right? So this concept of prasadam, very, very important. One other thing that you can do, people actually sometimes if you are, maybe you're traveling an overnight train or something in India, for example, and it's morning time to offer, you haven't got anything to offer. Then you can also do the offering manasi. In the mind you can offer, right? You can actually, if you have that bhav, you can close your eyes and prepare halwa and puris and things in your mind and actually offer. So there's one poor devotee like this, he couldn't afford anything. But every day he used to do like this. And one day he was doing this, he was making the offering, he was preparing in his mind. And in his mind he closed eyes and was really meditating, carefully making sure that he's got the milk is boiling, now he's put the rice in there, the rice is nice and boiling, he's put a lot of sugar in there, stirring everything is nicely boiling, okay, he's ready now, I want to offer it. Then with his eyes closed, in his mind, he's putting his finger into the pot, just to make sure that it's not too hot for the Lord. See the bow, right? He's still thinking, make sure that, although it's still imaginary, but he's making sure it's not too hot. But when he put the finger in there, mentally, it got burnt. He got a blister because he actually put the finger in the imaginary rice. Krishna actually had the rice there. So these are all amazing things that we can understand. We need to get ready now for the Aarti, 7 o'clock. So thank you so much for your patience. I didn't leave chance for any questions. But any questions, you can see me later. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Gokulanand ki jai, Sitaram Atmanaman ki jai, Thai Gaur Premanande, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
जय श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की, श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, श्री गौर निताय की. So please, if everyone can stand up for the Aarti ceremony and come forward, so in that way others can join us. And as the Aarti ceremony is being performed, we'll be singing this song, the Gora Aarti song, one line at a time. And after the lead singer sang a line, if you can follow the lead singer. So yes, everyone can please join in with the singing and also the dancing as the devotees sing and dance. And then we'll go on to chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Ka Shobha Kiva Jaya Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Kashobha Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Kashobha Janavitata Vane Jagamana